You are getting a more cozy in bed, laid back ma'am today because I just got my first period in close to a year, and I'm not gonna lie, it's really I'm going through it, okay? I'm really going through it right now. If you follow me outside of YouTube, you know that I have spoken a lot on my various social media platforms about how I get a lot of shit in my comment sections about the fact that I wear fast fashion. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this because I feel as if this is another one of those things where it's not black or white, and really in the end nobody wins. The thing that kind of kills me about it is, like, I work in a bar. I make $10 an hour plus tips. I have 2 kids. Like, I am fucking poor. I'm poor, you know? Like, I'm poor. And I constantly get crap from people for wearing fast fashion. But these wealthy millionaire influencers will literally make content that does quite well, based solely on fast fashion, Fashion Nova Haul, Shein Haul, even doing things like buying an entire outfit with accessories and shoes at places like Walmart or Target. Whether you realize it or not, both of those places, everything they sell is fast fashion. There are so many people that I follow across like every form of social media that they're wealthy. And one minute they're wearing like Balenciaga, and then the next minute they're wearing Killstar, and they get praise for both. Meanwhile, I get to deal with abuse in my comments for just trying to survive as a poor person. And not only that, as a poor plus size person, because I don't know if you know this, but if I go to a place that is specifically like makes plus size clothing, I cannot afford it. Poor people are constantly being punished for being poor. And I get people in my comment sections all the time that are just like, well, why don't you thrift? Why don't you just go to a thrift store? Do you know where I live? I live in the Appalachian Midwest. What exactly do you believe we have going on in our thrift stores? Because let me tell you a story, kids. Let me tell you what we have going on in our thrift stores. One of the last times that I went to Goodwill, you know how when a pumpkin starts to rot, it like shrinks, it like petrifies, you know? They had on the shelf a petrified, shriveled up pumpkin that somebody had like painted and somehow, some way ended up in a donate box. And they had a rotten pumpkin on the shelf for sale for like $2. So that's what we have going on here. I somehow magically live in a place where everyone is fat, but all of our thrift stores are nothing but size extra smalls. It doesn't really make any sense. And not only that, all of the clothes in the stores look like leftovers from somebody's like 1992 garage sale, and I don't mean that in a good way. I know that the 90s are like trendy. I know that vintage is trendy. I mean it in the worst way. I mean it in the absolute worst way. So basically what I'm getting at is our thrift stores aren't shit. We don't have like cool little like trendy places that you can go buy like the cool stuff. We don't have that. We solely rely on the internet for like everything because it's not here. It's not here. You can't find it. It's not here. I absolutely refuse to shop Depop because they are so overpriced. Everything that I like is so severely marked up. And not only that, I do not support The fact that people go into these thrift stores and they go to yard sales and things like that, and they completely wipe out all of the cute stuff, and then they put it on their Depop for like 10, 15, 20 times what they paid for it, just trying to make a profit without like acknowledging that they effectively took clothing away from the people who need it the most. Because where I live, people don't shop at yard sales because it's fun. They shop at yard sales because they need to find clothing that they can afford. This is the part that I feel is going to be the shittiest to talk about. And that's that we all should do what we can do to reduce harm to our planet and to our animals and to our fellow humans. But hard facts, literally everything that you see, touch, taste, smell, it all hurts something. Our electronics, our clothes, our cars, everything that we do, our food, all of it hurts the people, hurts the animals, hurts the planet, hurts the fucking bugs. It all hurts everything. It's like a rippling effect, because we cannot ethically exist. There's no such thing. The amount of people that I get in my comments who believe that they can tell me what to wear is absolutely insane. Don't wear Killstar. Okay, so first of all, most of them are saying it because it's not in their taste, and the idea, the belief of autonomy, which includes autonomy over one's own fucking wallet and body, you know, and life. I'm not allowed to wear something because you think that it's ugly? Please. I'm not going to talk about the Blackcraft thing. There's a lot of people that hate Blackcraft. Some of my favorite gym clothes come from Blackcraft. I don't give a shit if you don't like them. I don't care if you don't think that they're in your taste or whatever. Mind your own business. Mind your wallet, mind your body, and stay out of mine. Okay, so here's the thing with Shein. Shein sells up to a 5X. And the amount of plus size women who are struggling to find clothing that not only can they fit, but they can also afford, who get attacked for wearing things like Shein, is insane to me. Because first of all, let's talk about something. Torrid is expensive as fuck for no reason. Torrid is expensive as fuck because they are capitalizing on the fact that they sell clothes as big as they do, and there are people who have no other choice but to shop with them because their clothes are no higher quality than, say, Walmart. But for them to do things like charge $50 for a plain cotton t-shirt is absolutely outrageous. But they do it because they know that there are people who don't have any fucking choice but to pay it. And yes, I get it. I get it. A lot of Shein's clothes, the quality is not it. So what I will say with that is be careful, because their t-shirts tend to not be that great. That's why when I buy things from Shein, I tend to go for dresses, because their dress quality seems to be better than anything else. Some of their sweatpants are hit or miss, but I will never buy a t-shirt from there again. I will never buy lingerie from them again. I bought lingerie from them a couple of years ago. I washed it one time and it fell apart, and everyone around me was like, you should have known. Okay, here's the thing. It's lingerie. Of course I'm going to need to fucking wash it. You have these influencers who get on places like Shein and they buy hundreds, if not thousands of dollars worth of clothes to make a YouTube video with or a TikTok with, and then they throw it away or they give it away, or it ends up flooding these thrift stores, and then, you know, they're never going to touch it again, but they spent the money and now it's going to go to a landfill. And I don't know if you know this, but clothing waste is one of the biggest killers of the planet. So like, if you're going to shop places like Shein, don't do that. And the thing is, the content where they do this type of thing is like their highest performing content. And yes, there are people in their comments who will be like, you know, this is not the move, but the majority of it isn't that. They're attacking people like me instead, who are poor and just trying to survive. There is zero ethical consumption under capitalism. And honestly, we should be focusing on the government that allows this shit to happen rather than attacking the people who are just trying to find some sense of normalcy. So why are you attacking me instead of the government who allows these states and these countries to exploit their laborers the way that they do? Why are you not saying anything to these wealthy TikTokers, YouTubers, influencers who openly flex Louis Vuitton, but then they're like, oh, hey, look at my Fashion Nova collection. I'm also waiting for somebody to get into my comments and be like, well, you should just save. You should just save, and then you can buy something nice, and then you don't have to buy a cheap jacket. And it's like, have you never been in a position in your life where your money is spent before it's even made, where you are constantly one like emergency away from financial disaster? Because if you have never been there, I don't want to hear it. Saving money when you're poor is not a thing. It's not a thing. Savings is not a thing. Poor people constantly pay the price for corporate greed, for government greed, for the greed of these millionaires. And it's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair to the laborers who are paid slave wages to make our clothing and our shoes. And it is not fair to the poor people who are left in a position of, this is all I can afford, this is all I can consume, or else I just have to have nothing. Like, I don't know how to explain it any clearer to people. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I'm tired and I'm not fighting with y'all anymore about it. I'm over it.